So you've just graduated, you're a new chiropractor in California, and you are ready to live the dream and open your own practice. It's an exciting time, right? But what if I told you that one of the very first things you do, choosing a name for your business, could actually be a hidden trap? Seriously, this isn't just about marketing. A simple naming mistake could literally cost you your license. We're going to break down exactly how. Okay, let's put ourselves in someone's shoes. Picture this: a new grad. We'll call him Dr. Michael Reyes. He's got his license, he's got the passion, he's ready to go. He's wading through this sea of paperwork, you know how it is, and then he gets stuck on what feels like a really basic question about his business name. But here's the thing: this one little question has the power to put his entire career, everything he's worked for, on the line. So, what was the big question that could derail everything? Let's get right into it, because this is a crossroad that a ton of new chiropractors in California find themselves at. And here it is, straight from Dr. Reyes. He's basically saying, hey, I know my professional corporation has to have a specific legal name, but can I also use a cool, catchy DBA for my marketing? You know, something like the Spine Zone or whatever. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? You see other businesses do it all the time. You want a formal name for the state, but a memorable one for your patients. Seems like a no-brainer. So can you do it? Can you have that cool DBA for your marketing? Well, this is where things get complicated. California's regulators have a really, really strict take on this. Let's dig into the actual law. All right, the short answer? Absolutely not. It's a hard no. There's no wiggle room, no clever workaround. It's just not allowed. So that naturally leads to the next question. Why? Why is California so incredibly strict about this one thing? Well, the why is baked right into the state law. It's in the Business and Professions Code, Section 1054, and it's super specific. The law says the name of your chiropractic corporation has to include the last name of one of the owners, the word chiropractic, and something that shows it's a corporation, like Inc. or Corp. That's the formula, period. There's no little footnote that says, unless you have a really cool marketing name you'd rather use. And just in case you thought maybe there was some ambiguity in the legal code, nope. The Board of Chiropractic Examiners puts it in plain English right on the application form you need to fill out. It literally says, a professional chiropractic corporation cannot render services using a fictitious name or a DBA. They could not be more clear about this. It's right there in black and white. So let's look at some real-world examples to make this crystal clear. On the left, you've got the good stuff, the names that are totally fine. Reyes Chiropractic, Inc., Smith & Jones Chiropractic Corporation. See the pattern? Last name, chiropractic, and a corporate ending. Now look at the right. This is the danger zone. Names like LA Wellness Chiropractic or the Spine Center. They sound great for marketing, but in California, they are absolutely illegal for a professional corporation. Okay, but this is the part that trips everyone up. You're probably thinking the same thing Dr. Reyes was. But come on, what if I just use the cool name for my marketing, my sign, my website, my social media? That's not technically rendering services, right? Wrong. In the eyes of the law, it is. The state considers any public-facing activity as part of your professional service. You can't draw a line between your legal name and your marketing name. It's all one and the same to them. So, now we know the rule. It's clear, it's strict. But what if you ignore it? Or what if you just didn't know and made a mistake? Well, this is where it gets really serious. We're not talking about a small fine or a little slap on the wrist. The consequences are, honestly, they're terrifying. We're talking about your actual license. Here's the key. The board doesn't see this as a simple paperwork mistake. They don't just go, oops, you filled out the form wrong. No, they classify this as unprofessional conduct. And if you're a licensed professional in any field, you know those are two of the scariest words you can hear. That term is the official doorway to severe disciplinary action. And it gets even more specific. It falls under what the board calls a Category 3 violation. Now, what does that mean? The board's own guidelines say this category is for serious offenses that demonstrate disregard for chiropractic law and professional responsibility. Think about that. They're not saying you made a mistake. They're saying you showed a disregard for the rules. This is the big leagues of violations. Okay, prepare yourself, because this is what those consequences actually look like. Let's look at the official disciplinary guidelines. The maximum penalty? Outright revocation. Your license is gone forever. But honestly, that's not even the most shocking part. Look at the minimum penalty. the least they can do to you. It's not a warning, it's not a fine, it's a 30-day suspension of your license, plus something called a stayed revocation, which basically means they're holding the revocation over your head. And it doesn't stop there. That minimum penalty, the one with the 30-day suspension, it also comes with 5 years of probation. 5 years. That means for half a decade, you are under the board's thumb. Constant monitoring, extra paperwork, walking on eggshells, all because you wanted a catchy name for your practice. It's just staggering. So yeah, the penalties are incredibly harsh. But you have to understand, this whole naming issue, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. It's a symptom of a much bigger issue, which is that setting up a practice in California involves navigating this insanely complex legal maze. I mean, just look at this. It's not one rule book. You've got the Business and Professions Code, the Corporations Code, the Code of Regulations, the board's own disciplinary guidelines, plus all the requirements hidden away in the registration forms themselves. It's a web of rules from all these different places, and if you missed one little detail from any of them, boom, unprofessional conduct. It is quite literally a trap waiting for the unwary.
Okay, so after hearing all of that, you're probably thinking, how on earth do I protect myself from this? It's a huge risk. But the good news is, you can. The key is making one very smart decision right at the start.
I love this analogy because it hits so close to home for you. As a chiropractor, would you ever tell a patient with a serious subluxation to just, crack their own back and hope for the best? Of course not. The risk of them causing permanent damage is way too high. Well, the exact same principle applies here. Trying to DIY the legal structure of your professional corporation is just as dangerous. One wrong move can cause catastrophic damage to your career. So it really boils down to a simple choice. You can go the DIY route, try to piece it all together yourself, and risk falling into one of these traps. Or you can get professional guidance, and you have to stop thinking of it as an expense. It's not. It's protection. It's an investment in the very license you poured your blood, sweat, and tears into earning. It ensures you're safe from day one. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to this one simple, powerful question. When you know that the best case scenario for making a mistake is a 30-day suspension and 5 years of probation, and the worst case is losing everything you've ever worked for, you've just got to ask yourself, is a catchy business name really worth your entire career?